What's up, guys? It's Wheezy here. I'm back. I'm sorry for the delay. Oh my god, I don't know what I've been doing, man. It's taken me a while to do this. I got so hyped for Team of the Season. I've been playing so much on my main account, but we're back here with the Founder Academy Episode 7. So I've promised you guys so many times that I'm going to do these more frequently, and I really am going to try to do that. Now that like my main account is like almost boring me because I've had so much time spent on that one. I don't know if there's much more I can do, so I've actually been more interested in wanting to play this one, which is good for my channel, good for you guys, because I actually want to get on here and get this team better. So as you guys are going to see in the title, we're going to end this episode with the Team of the Season player. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but hopefully you guys like it. So as we start the episode off, we went back into seasons here, and we have 3 games here and a couple SBCs, some team management stuff. What I was doing was, some of this footage is a little bit old. We were playing during Team of the Season, so I was kind of making some moves around because some of the players that I had were going for a little bit more. Like Matip, I got in the last episode, hardly used him. And by the time I picked this up again, he was actually going for quite a bit on the market because people were needing him for Team of the Season player, so I was going to sell him and upgrade. So as we head into this game, the first team we played against, the guy had a Team of the Season player, but it wasn't like a full chem team. It looked like he was just trying to force it in. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see what you guys think of the Team of the Season. I thought Team of the Season was really awesome in terms of like the cards they were using. But right now, also with FUTTIES going on, I haven't really been too impressed with FUTTIES. I was almost expecting it the other way around. I mean, Team of the Season, you kind of know what you're going to get, but I wasn't expecting that much content. I've been really impressed with how many Team of the Season SBCs they've been doing, and the FUTTIES stuff is like, I'm amazed at what players are winning these. Like Renato Sanchez losing to Dembele, that was a shocker to me. The amount of like, I guess EPL guys, I'm not really that surprised with it, but I'm shocked at some of the guys that have won them. Like I wasn't surprised by Butland, I wasn't surprised by Chris Smalling, but you know, somewhat Sterling, I guess. I mean, Sterling, you've already got his Player of the Month that was available again in an SBC during the FUTTIES, so I don't know why guys would have taken him. Luke Shaw wasn't really that shocking to me. I kind of wish Danny Rose would have won. But there were just some guys that I wasn't really, you know, too happy. I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm really in shock that Renato Sanchez didn't win. I was really disappointed too, because he would have been a card that I would have even tried to get for this one, even if I couldn't have afforded him, even the one that wasn't jacked up. But anyway, so back into the gameplay, we came up against this guy. We were playing. We went up early. This guy didn't really offer a whole lot. You know, as you can see, he looked like he was making some pretty serious mistakes here. But this was one of those games where my team's lack of real quality was really coming to the forefront here. You weren't really seeing players be as clinical as they were, and I think I was a little bit used to playing with some big name players, and you know, these guys are missing chances that I really should be putting away. Of course, a lot of it's my fault too. You know, what I've been doing has been kind of pussyfooting a lot of shots. I got so used to kind of like just double tapping and, you know, quick little dinks past the keeper. However, especially like on my other account as well, like I've had to change the way I shoot. I have to put more power in it because there's so many times where I'm trying the low driven shot, and I almost want to say it's been nerfed. I don't know if it actually has, but it feels like the low drivens aren't going in as frequently as they were, especially early on in the year. They were going in almost every shot, but now like when I'm doing these, the keepers, you know, they're not necessarily making stops, but the shots aren't as good a quality. They're not finding the corner as much. Maybe it's me, maybe the shooting mechanic did get nerfed, but I find that just walking in, and if you've got the far side open, going cross body, full power, still works really well. So that's definitely one of the shots that I've had to try to change. You're not going to see it too much in this gameplay because a lot of these players don't have the shooting ability or the shooting accuracy that they need in order to really see the full effect of that. But with these guys, all I need to do is try to get myself in the best scoring positions as possible because they're not really, you know, they don't have the best shooting skills. But we do win our opening game here. Saito Berahino still proving to be a very useful card. You know, this guy's team, like I said, it wasn't put together great, but it was, you know, a decent team. Should have given me a little bit more trouble, but he just didn't look like the greatest player in the world, I guess. No offense to him if he watches this video, but, you know, I mean, look at that team. They're not necessarily world beaters, but they caused this guy, you know, to lose 2-0. But great name, your mom. You know, what are you going to do? So we do have 6 points. I believe I'm in Division 8. So as we do want to make some changes, as I said, Matip, I'm going to sell him because he was going for 3,900. And what I wanted to do was upgrade. Eric Bailly is a guy that I still use on my main account. Even I had his once to watch, even though it never got upgraded. And then I got the FUTTIES version. So this is basically the same card that I use on my main monster team on my main account with like team of the seasons all over the place. Eric Bailly, as you guys know, I don't want to get into a handicap thing, but I am a believer in handicap and scripting. Not scripting, but handicap in general. So I do like to have Eric Bailly because he is only 82 and he plays like a team of the season, and I do want to keep my rating down. But in this team, he's one of my better players. I do want to have him in the team because he's just such a good card. He's so aggressive, jumps up, intercepts balls, especially in these lower divisions where guys are kind of, methodically making passes up the middle. I need him to kind of jump in and intercept those balls, counterattack. We also used some of the extra coins that we had to get Gabriel Jesus, I want to say. So I don't know why I couldn't think of his name there, but yeah, so the Brazilian striker from Man City. So he's going to feature in the team as we look to upgrade our strikers. I just wanted to show you guys also some of the custom tactics I'm using. People are always obsessed with custom tactics, but this is basically what I've used since day one. The only thing that I've kind of modified a little bit has been my aggression. I like to play organized in the midfield. I like my midfield quite structured because I like to be able to pass and have guys not all over the place. You can do free form, but I like to have it organized, just for the sake of that. And then I like to have my play in the final third to be free form. So I like guys moving around. I don't like static players. I try to do as much as I can to get players moving. The worst thing you can have is guys just standing still. So doing that, and of course do cover. The only other thing, as I mentioned, was I want to upgrade or change my defensive tactics to a little bit more aggressive, just because I do like to get the ball back, especially now as you're getting better players. They can be a little bit more aggressive because they can compensate and get back. So aggression will go up as time goes on. I don't like to abuse aggression because players' stamina goes down, but I do want to make sure that they aren't just backing off and backing off and backing off. So we do come up against this guy. He's playing a 4-5-1, really good team. Still, again, these guys are not necessarily, I don't necessarily think you have to have 10 chem on everybody. I'm a big believer in 10 chem because it gets the best out of every player, but a lot of guys, still are fine with 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever. 9's fine, but I mean 7 or 8, I just don't like 7 or 8. I just think you're doing yourself a disservice and you're wasting stats. But we do play this guy. He didn't really offer too much going forward. This was literally his first attack. Nice play from Fernando Torres. And I was honestly in shock. Like, he really wasn't doing anything, and then he just kind of busted through my defense there. And I actually thought my defense would have been able to handle this. Look at that, 4 guys around him, but I don't know if this was fluky or it just required a lot of skill. But credit to him, it was a nice goal. Came by and he slotted that nicely through with Fernando Torres, the regular Fernando Torres. It doesn't even have great stats. If that was like the FUT birthday one or the SBC FUT birthday, the premium SBC, I would have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But regular Fernando Torres, I could never get the best or even anything out of that Fernando Torres. But this guy seemed to slalom his way through my team. But that's okay, no worries, because we're just going to come downfield. And hopefully we're going to be able to score. I thought I scored on that one, but I didn't. So this guy was making some last-ditch tackles here. He does end the half at 1-0. And I just thought this felt like one of those games where eventually I was going to get back into this. I thought I did score at the end of the first half there, but apparently not. So I hope I don't lose this game, actually, now that I think about it. But we are going to make a sub here. We're going to bring Lukaku on. Lukaku and Jesus, that's a pretty formidable striker combo, although he is approaching his last game. So we do start the second half. This is basically the first play of the second half, and I was like, there it is. There's the goal. Nice easy pass into Gabriel Jesus, and he just slips it past the keeper, and I'm thinking, this is going to be it. This is got to be it. This is where the tide turns. This guy, like I said, didn't offer much. I'm pretty sure that Fernando Torres rush was the only thing that he offered. He was making last-ditch tackles. His Oblak was making crazy saves. So, I mean, he is a good keeper. We were making a couple mistakes there. I could have been a lot more clinical, but you can see he's he's diving in the box, slide tackling me. That one pissed me right off because I was like, oh my god, this guy slid tackled me from behind. Not only did he not get it, but it actually caused my player to kind of take a little bit more of a delay, and then I end up shooting in his defense, and then you can see that last play of the game. He was just getting the ball. I cut out most of those clips right there in the last minute, but the play went on for at least another 5 kind of attempts and corners and stuff like that, and all he was doing was getting the ball and hoofing it out. You know, I don't blame him because he was just trying to salvage a point, but it was quite impressive to me considering the team he had, but, you know, the team isn't necessarily everything. But that guy really lucky to get a draw, but, you know, he did score his goal. I didn't take mine, so who am I to say that, you know, I deserve the point, but I wish I would have gotten more out of that. I probably should have done better. So we are going to get Lanzini. I do need some more midfield players. You know, my midfield, I do want to have, as I mentioned in previous episodes, I do want to have a constant rotation. You know, DeFore is not a guy that I necessarily want to have in the team, but I just need to slowly upgrade, slowly but surely, basically game after game after game, just get quality players in there. I just want to have a team of full, kind of rare players so we can have quality whenever we have to sub guys on. So Lanzini is going to prove to be quite an impressive player to have for the price that you're paying for him. He's got an all very well-rounded card. And then we come up against this guy, Barnett Vale. You know, I looked at this team and I just thought, this is either going to be a nightmare for me or this is going to be a cakewalk. These go one of two ways. The guy's either an awesome player and just doesn't care and doesn't need a really good team, or he's going to be some chump that you're just going to roll over and he's going to quit after, you know, 2 goals or whatever. But he did end up being a quite formidable opponent. Considering the team he was using, he didn't actually play too badly. He did cause me some problems with bronzes. For the players that had no chemistry, no business even being on the same field. Not that my team's world beaters, but, you know, this guy, full credit to him, even for playing the entire game, but he was actually causing me some issues. So we do take the 1-0 lead after the 20th minute there. Jesus with the goal. You know, pretty classic Wheezy finish there, right down the middle, just, you know, low driven into the corner. Double tap kind of almost. But as you see here, he did attack and he didn't sit back. He didn't implode. He came at me. I thought he was going to sweat that, and a beautiful goal here. And I'm just like, what is going on with this guy's team here? How is that even possible this guy would score this goal? You know, this was a really good quality goal here. I mean, he was very patient. He baited my defender into the middle, and then he drove it across goal. I don't know if it was fluky, but look at the guy he scored it with. Kohlert, I've never even heard of the guy. A bronze player, not even a shiny bronze player. I was honestly in shock, and I just thought this is going to be maybe a nightmare, and as much as I would love to be like, oh, it's scripting, and the game has given this guy a handicap advantage, it wasn't. Like, this team didn't play great. Not that my team played fantastic, but he just knew how to use them. But we do answer right back, thankfully. Iheanacho, fake shot, low driven into the corner, real simple. And then we are going to hit him on some counters. He did need to press. I mean, with bronzes, that's not what you want to be doing, but he did need to do that. And then we just walked downfield and we scored, make it 3-1. A little bit of violin there. I meant to do the double ears, which you're going to see. The double ears are my celebration, but I think if you hold square, if you have L2 and hold square, I think it does the violin. So that almost looks very just insulting to the guy. So I didn't mean to do that, so I apologize if that's a jerk one. Not that the double ears is not a jerk one, but it is my celebration. I love it. The Mauro Icardi, can you hear me? I do it all the time. But Iheanacho, 2 goals. It's the first time we've really gotten a lot out of him. I mean, he's scored goals before, but, you know, I was a little bit critical of him before. I wasn't necessarily a big fan. I was expecting better things from him, but in this game, he proved to be quite clinical. So we were pressing again. This guy, you know, as I said before, he was making the best of his team, but he did need to push forward. And I was getting a lot of counter-attacking opportunities and stuff that I should be doing better with. You know, you can see pump faked his keeper there. I don't know if this is just the lack of quality on my players, but, you know, I'm missing chances after chance after chance after chance. And, you know, he does give away a penalty here at the end, but, you know, credit to him for keeping it 3-1. It really should have been worse. I should have been a lot more clinical with my finishing. But, you know, this guy defended quite well, and considering he had to push up the field, you know, keeping it 3-1 is quite respectable for the team he was using. So we do step up here with, I think it's, I guess it's Iheanacho that takes it. Should have been somebody else, but I pussyfooted this, and penalties are something that I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but I am not a big fan of the penalties, especially when you don't have the arrow. I just find them really obnoxiously hard to do. Like, you don't know where you're going with them. I don't know if that's just sour grapes because I missed that one, but I'm just not a big fan of them. I didn't think there was anything wrong with them before. Just pick the direction you want to shoot and put power on it, and if you're the keeper, guess it. But there's too many stupid penalties, especially now, the ones that like you shoot and like the keeper dies and it goes under his arm, like you just roll it to the left or to the right. Those are the ones that really drive me crazy. Or when you dive the right way, your keeper puts a hand on it and then it bounces off his body and does dumb things like, or if you just dive that way and the ball's just rolling, the keeper can't identify to put his hand down or his hand up. He just basically, you know, kind of blindly dives. It's just idiotic. But I've heard that they're reworking them for FIFA 18, and I hope they do. Back into some of the squad building stuff. This isn't actually a squad builder, but I did remember that there are a buttload of kits. So if you are starting fresh for whatever reason at this point, even for FIFA 18, you know, if you've got a lot of not FIFA points, but I guess, what are they, experience points that sit up in the top corner there, you can use them to unlock celebrations. A lot of you guys will know this, but if you don't already, just unlock all the kits. There's going to be a lot of classic kits, a lot of this stuff, and you can discard them. Same with the contracts. There's those 99 contracts. I don't have those unlocked because I think because this was a fresh account, I don't think I'm high enough level, but a lot of these kits, they're just sitting there and you can unlock them for basically nothing. They require almost no points and you can just discard them. We did keep the one Boca Juniors kit because I did want to have some variety. I kind of like that Juventus one, but for some reason I discarded it. But you can discard all those kits and basically get, you know, whatever, a couple hundred, 1,000 coins, whatever it is. And we're going to discard Kelechi Iheanacho. He did run out of contracts. I was looking at him. He basically goes for discard value, is going for nothing. I didn't want to waste a contract on him. We didn't have a lot of contracts, and I was thinking he just wasn't clinical enough. I wasn't loving him. So we went out and we got Marcus Rashford. This guy already had a finisher on him, which is exactly what you need. His pace is fine already. I just need to jack up his shooting stats and his strength. He's very weak, so it's not that it's going to make that much of a difference because I think he's still weak even with 3 chevrons on him, the finisher one, but it makes him better. So all I care about is just jacking up the shooting. For guys like that just have a lot of pace, I'm a big fan of the shooting and passing. I think it's Deadeye that has those 3 together, or those 2, sorry. And I just think that they're really, really useful cards to have because I think your strikers still need to have good passing even in tight quarters to really kind of wiggle through some of these defensive teams. But anyway, he does have a finisher card on him. He is going to prove to be useful, and we do go out and get Dele Alli as well. We needed a really prominent cam. I do like Dele Alli a lot. I used him very earlier in the year. I had the FUT birthday SBC Dele Alli, which I used in another SBC, but I do recommend Dele Alli. He's a very good card to have and very underrated. So we come up against this guy in our third match. FUT is a fraud, great name, but look at that team. You know, he's got Player of the Month, Sterling. He's got Team of the Season, Insigne, FUT birthday, Dybala, FUT birthday, Dani Alves, and he unlocked the Marquinhos, excuse me. So he obviously is a good player because he's won the daily knockout tournaments. I don't know what he's doing in Division 8. Some of these guys drop down divisions just because they want to face noobs or people like me that they think are noobs, but I don't know if that's what he's doing. I don't want to make judgments on it. Maybe he just hasn't played any seasons this year, but he's obviously a good enough player that he should be playing in a higher division than Division 8. But this was a very, very tough game. These are the type of games that if I can get a point out of at this point with my team, I'd be very happy. If I was playing with a bigger, bossier team, I'd be happier, or I'd be more confident attacking-wise. But, you know, not that I'm going to sit back and play in a defensive shell. I still go attacking. But, you know, I don't expect to come out of this because these guys have such good defenders and, you know, such powerful players. It's going to be hard to get any types of, you know, wins out of them, and especially scoring any goals. So as you can see, as players, even when they're beat, they overcompensate. So this was kind of back and forth. You guys saw it earlier. He'd made one of those really idiotic runs that drive me crazy when they just run kind of straight, this still kind of slalomy run. I just think those are so stupid because the defenders just back off and they just watch you go by. I don't want to get off too much on a tangent on that, but it's just one of those things that really irritate me about the game, you know, when you can just kind of run through. But whatever, it is what it is. Hopefully eventually that disappears, but, you know, there's just too many players. If anyone knows how to get rid of that, if that's a thing like, you know, increase the aggression on your team, then, you know, please let me know in the comments. I would love to figure out how to get rid of that. It happens too often. I consider myself a good defender, but you know, those still happen. Guys just run at you, and the defenders just stand there like a bunch of idiots, almost like they do off kickoff. But we are going to finish this game 0-0. This guy just had such a good team. He was a decent opponent. He attacked okay, but, you know, he probably should have beaten me considering that team. I know I've been a little harsh with some of the opponents, but, you know, I'm trying to be fair. You know, he's got a jacked up team. There's no reason why he shouldn't have won this. Wasn't very clinical. Neither was I. We both had opportunities. It could excuse me, it could have went either way, but you know, 0-0, I'll take it with that team. You know, team of the seasons, the unlockable Marquinhos, you know, Dybala, a jacked up Dani Alves. I will take the 0-0 draw. So we're at 11 points. We just need one for promotion. I think that's pretty easy to do. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in the next episode. But we are going to, that's the end of the gameplay portion of it. We do end up, you know, having to discard Romelu Lukaku. Was a very good soldier for the team. And, you know, a guy that I don't necessarily think that I want to put on the team, but he ended up keeping us in a lot of games, especially earlier in the year. So this second portion, this is actually more recent. This is something that I did the other day. This is during FUTTIES. So we had the earlier portion that was during Team of the Season. Now we had the FUTTIES portion. And the reason for that is I sold Dele Alli because I wanted to get the Team of the Season player. They had the Year of the Rooster SBC. That's all you had to do to get this team. However, I noticed after that, and I had this on my main account too because I discarded a lot of, or not discarded, but I got rid of a lot of the other players. You have to have loyalty on them, which is so frustrating. So what I needed to do was go in and basically play 10 games. So I put this one game in there because I did play the first one. I was thinking, oh, I don't want to quit out, but there is a glitch on PS4 where you can go in and you can essentially test your connection. Like once you kick off the game, you can just go into the menus and just test your connection, and just you can only do this offline, but it basically allows you to have your game quit out, but without giving you the loss. So I guess it just identifies it as a disconnect, but not one that you quit out on. So I'm just showing you guys this is the only game I played of the 10. I don't know why I kept this in, other than just kind of show you some sick goals, you know, playing against the computer, obviously on amateur, just in the starter cup. You know, it's a good way for people if you don't have anything in your team, you just need to get going and you don't want to play online with a bunch of bronze players. You know, just go into the starter cup and just, you know, destroy them. You know, go in there and just kill them. You saw the team I was using, bronzes and riff-raffy silvers, and look at them, they don't do anything, but you can just score some goals, get player stats up. It's annoying to have to do this. I really wish they would not put SBCs where you need loyalty, because this is a glitch in there, and to have to actually go in and play 10 games, even if they remove this glitch and or bug or whatever you want to call it, I don't even know if it is a bug, but if they remove this and have it that you actually have to play 10 games, like think of how frustrating it's going to be to have to play offline games, you know, or to go play 10 online games with a bunch of scrubs you don't even want to use, like a bunch of squids. Like, I don't want to play that. I don't want to use these guys online. I would just get absolutely smoked. However, you can go on and just play against the computer, and the computer's just not going to offer you any opposition, but it is boring. I mean, as you guys can see, I'm just taking my time and just trying to, you know, annihilate the computer with nice goals. It is practicing my finishing with scrub players, and actually the funniest thing is, like, some of these guys I ended up being pretty good. Bernardetto, who I actually packed his team this season in my main account. I didn't use him, but I kind of wish I would have used him, at least tried him out as a super sub, even though I've got so many super subs on that other team. You know, his regular card was actually pretty good. I can only imagine how good he is on full cam. He had really decent stats. I think he had like 88 pace, 81 shooting or something like that on his regular card. So don't quote me on that, I might be wrong, but he did have some pretty good stats. So having to use him in an SBC is almost a shame, but you know, it is what it is. But we do score some actual pretty nice goals with some of these scrub lords. You know, these guys, they're finishing. I don't know if it was just because the computer dumbs down the keeper so much that some of these goals which would never have gone in, are going in, which is probably the case. But it was fun to sit there and score them. So as you can see, there's Bernardetto, 76 rated, but he was scoring some nice goals. You know, left-footed bender around the keeper. You know, like I said, you're not going to score that online, but, you know, it's fun when you're doing it against the computer. But with that being said, you know, finishing finishing the episode off, being able to get a team of the season, especially this late in the game, just shows you the quality of, you know, this year's product. I was so impressed with FIFA 17. You know, the fact that not only are you playing it this late, but you're playing it and doing meaningful games and having meaningful SBCs and actually wanting to build your team up because they're still releasing cards. Think about where we were last year. You were almost non-existent. You know, like people had pretty much quit. And even at this point in the year, there's so many tryhards left on the game. A lot of the, you know, noobs and stuff have just quit. I play with some of the guys at my work, have tried Ultimate Team, but a lot of them have stopped playing. Most of them don't spend money, if not all of them don't spend money, but most of them have just kind of quit out. There's the odd guy who continues to play, but you know, there's so much being offered. So to be able to go and a guy like me to spend 3K and get a team of the season player, that's quite impressive. We do also get 888, excuse me, in terms of coins. So that takes us up to 1,000 coins, which, you know, you guys know my team at this point, still going to be useful. Excuse me. And we do get that team of the season kit, or team of the week kit, which I do like a lot. Excuse me. I do like that kit a lot. I am going to use it, that yellow kit. And we do go out and we get our team of the season player. So who are we going to get with this? It cost us Dele Alli, but that's okay. 3K to get a team of the season player. And it ends up being a walkout, which is, I'm pretty sure almost all of them are walkouts. But there could have been a lot worse. We do get a Russian player. You guys know who it is. Smolov. You know, fantastic player. Look at those stats. 92, 92, 83 passing, 89 dribbling, 85 physical. I'm so excited to use this guy in the next episode. He's going to be a beast. Even though we're not going to be able to get him on full cam, we'll have to bring him on as a super sub, so he won't be able to, he'll be playing at, what, 5 or 6 cam. But it's okay. You know, even with that, he's so much better than every other player we have, and I'm just so excited to use him. So this is going to be the team that we're end up finishing with. We do sell off DeFore. He is going to be a guy that, you know, ended up being somewhat useful, but, you know, at this point where our team's getting to a point where I'm pretty much happy with it, at least to be able to go in there and confidently play some, you know, better quality teams here. But we do put Smolov in the team. He's going to come on as a super sub, and that's going to be the end of the episode. That's going to be the team that we're going to take into the next series of games in the next episode, in episode 8. So please leave a like on the video. Leave any comments or questions you guys have down below in the comments section. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I look forward to seeing you guys for episode 8. Thanks. Peace.